Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to shake your spirit awake. I want to speak directly to the part of you that still dreams, still believes, still hopes, even if life has buried it under disappointment, doubt, or fear. The title of this message is Think Positivity Before It's Too Late. Because let me tell you something, time does not wait. Life is not going to pause while you figure out if you're worthy, if you're good enough, or if you have what it takes. The clock is ticking, and every moment you spend dwelling in negativity is a moment you will never get back. I know what it feels like to doubt yourself. I know what it's like to sit in a quiet room and wonder if your best days are behind you. Maybe you've been betrayed. Maybe life knocked you flat on your back. Maybe people told you you're not smart enough, strong enough, or talented enough. And when those words echo long enough, you start to believe them. You start saying, maybe this is it. Maybe this is all I'll ever be. But hear me right now. Those are lies. Negativity is a liar. It's a thief. It will rob you of your potential, your peace, your power. And if you let it, it will bury your dreams alive. That is why you must decide, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, to think positivity before it's too late. Positive thinking is not pretending everything is perfect. It's not putting on a fake smile while your world is on fire. Positive thinking is the courage to see possibility even when you're surrounded by problems. It's saying, yes, this is hard, but I am harder. Yes, I've been knocked down, but I will rise again. Yes, I failed, but failure is not final unless I quit. Positive thinking is not denial. It is defiance. It is looking adversity in the eye and saying, you will not have the last word in my story. You see, the difference between people who rise and people who stay stuck is not talent. It's not luck. It's not money. It's mindset. It's belief. It's that quiet decision deep in your soul that says, no matter what happens, I will keep going. I will keep believing. I will keep fighting for my future. Every great achievement you've ever admired, every invention, every breakthrough, every comeback started with one person who dared to think positively in the face of doubt. But here's the truth. If you wait too long to shift your mindset, negativity will build a fortress around your life. You'll start calling it reality. You'll defend it. You'll say, this is just who I am. And before you know it, years will pass and the dreams you buried will haunt you. One day, you will wake up and realize you've run out of tomorrows. Don't let that day come. Don't reach the end of your life wishing you had believed in yourself sooner. Wishing you had tried one more time. Wishing you had seen the good inside you before the world convinced you otherwise. Let me tell you something powerful. You are not done. As long as there is breath in your lungs, there is more inside you. Untapped potential, dormant strength, hidden greatness. But to release it, you must change the conversation in your mind. Stop telling yourself you can't. Stop rehearsing everything that went wrong. Stop magnifying your weaknesses and start magnifying your worth. Speak to yourself like someone you are responsible for inspiring. Wake up each morning and declare, I am more than my past. I am bigger than my mistakes. I am capable of more than I've imagined. Say it until your heart believes it. Say it until your actions prove it. Say it until the world has no choice but to notice. And listen to me. You don't have to wait for everything to be perfect before you think positively. Start now. Start messy. Start scared. Start with trembling hands and a shaking voice. Because positivity is not a reward for success. It is the fuel that gets you there. It's what gives you the energy to get back up, to take one more step, to make one more call, to write one more page, to try one more time. Positivity creates momentum, and momentum creates miracles. But here's the urgency: time is moving. Right now, While you sit in silence doubting yourself, the clock is ticking. Right now, someone out there is using the very little they have and turning it into something extraordinary simply because they believed they could. And the only difference between them and you is that they chose to think positively before it was too late. So make the choice today, right now. Say, I will not let negativity write my story. I will not let fear chain me to the ground. I will not waste another day doubting the miracle I am, because you are a miracle, one of a kind, unrepeatable, irreplaceable. And the world needs what only you can give. So I leave you with this challenge for the next 7 days. Flood your mind with positivity. Guard your thoughts like your future depends on it, because it does. Read things that lift you. Listen to voices that encourage you. Speak words that build you. And each time negativity knocks, answer with this truth. I was made for more. I am not done yet. My story is still being written, and it will be beautiful. Think positivity before it's too late, because your future is waiting, and it's brighter than you can imagine. Your mindset shapes your future before your actions do. Long before your hands build anything, before your feet take the first step, before the world even sees your effort, your mind has already set the course. The battles of life are first won or lost in the silent arena of your thoughts. If your mind is drenched in doubt, fear, and limitation, every action you take will be hesitant, small, and half-hearted. But if your mind is filled with belief, faith, and expectation, every move you make will carry the weight of confidence and purpose. The direction of your thoughts becomes the direction of your destiny, and nothing can consistently grow beyond the boundaries of your mindset. People often think action comes first, that results shape belief. But it's the other way around. A mind anchored in possibility will look at the same obstacles others run from and see opportunities hidden inside them. When your thinking is elevated, your actions rise to match it. It becomes impossible to quit easily, because your belief whispers that there must be a way through. While others hesitate, your mindset pushes you forward. While others see dead ends, you see detours. That shift happens before any action, before the world has given you permission, before success has sent you any proof. It begins when you decide internally that your future can be brighter than your past, and you let that belief drive your behavior. Your mindset determines how you interpret failure, and that interpretation controls whether you rise or stay down. A fixed, negative mindset says, I failed, so I am a failure, and it stops there. A positive, growth-driven mindset says, this is a lesson, and I will grow from it, and it keeps going. The same event produces two different lives, depending on the mindset behind it. This is why people with less talent sometimes go further than those with more ability. Their thinking refuses to surrender. They see themselves as capable of improvement, and that vision pulls them forward even when progress is invisible. Their mindset becomes the engine that keeps turning the wheels when everything else seems stuck. Your actions are simply the shadows of your dominant thoughts. If your mind constantly tells you that you are powerless, your behavior will reflect hesitation, avoidance, and fear. If your mind repeatedly affirms that you are capable, your behavior will reflect boldness, persistence, and determination. The outside world eventually bows to the reality you carry within yourself. That is why changing your thinking is the most powerful move you can make for your future. It is the seed from which everything else grows. You can force yourself to act for a while, but without the roots of a strong mindset, your actions will wither when the first storm hits. When your mindset is strong, you no longer depend on motivation to act. You act because you see yourself as someone who must. Mindset is the architect. Action is just the construction crew. If the blueprint in your mind is small, your life will never be larger than it. If the blueprint in your mind is bold, your life will stretch to fill it. Every accomplishment, every breakthrough, every reinvention of self begins with the same invisible spark, a decision in the mind to see something greater, to expect something more, to believe something better is possible. That decision silently rearranges your future long before your hands touch it. Because your mindset shapes your future before your actions do. Negativity delays dreams. Positivity ignites them. Negativity works like an anchor tied around them, holding down every spark of ambition before it can rise. When your thoughts are soaked in doubt, fear, and self-criticism, even the clearest vision becomes blurred and distant. You start questioning your ability, hesitating on decisions, second-guessing every idea before it has a chance to breathe. That hesitation builds walls around your potential, and those walls slow down every step you try to take. Opportunities appear, but negativity convinces you they are traps. Doors open, but negativity whispers that you are not ready to walk through them. It drains your courage quietly, replacing it with caution disguised as logic, until your dreams gather dust while you convince yourself you are just being realistic. Positivity does the opposite. It moves through your mind like fire through dry grass, lighting everything it touches. When you choose positive thoughts, your energy shifts, and energy fuels motion. Dreams need motion. They cannot survive long periods of waiting in doubt. They need movement, even small steps, to stay alive. Positivity supplies the emotional fuel to keep moving when results are not immediate. It fills the gap between where you are and where you want to be with determination instead of despair. When your thoughts affirm that something good can come from your effort, you are more willing to give your best. That willingness multiplies your actions, and multiplied actions accelerate progress. Negativity delays not only by stopping you, but also by slowing you when you do move. It makes you work with hesitation, like driving with one foot on the brake. You send emails while expecting rejection. You make plans while secretly believing they will fail. This inner conflict wastes energy, time, and focus. It keeps you from committing fully, and half-hearted effort produces half-formed results. Positivity erases that hesitation. It lets you press the accelerator without fear because you are focused on possibility instead of punishment. You execute faster because your mind is not cluttered with imagined disasters. That speed creates momentum, and momentum carries dreams forward in ways effort alone cannot. When negativity surrounds your thinking, even your wins feel small. You dismiss them as luck, downplay them, or fear they will disappear. That mindset blocks growth because you never allow success to build your confidence. Positivity magnifies your wins, turning them into proof that more is possible. It lets each victory become a foundation for the next one, stacking belief on belief until you stand taller than your doubts. The more you see yourself succeeding in your mind, the more your actions start aligning with that vision. Positivity builds a bridge between imagination and reality, while negativity keeps them far apart. Dreams demand risk, and risk demands faith. Negativity kills faith before it has a chance to form. It tells you to wait until everything is certain, but nothing about chasing dreams is ever certain. If you wait for total clarity, you will wait forever. Positivity gives you permission to begin before you feel fully ready. It gives you enough courage to take the first step, trusting that clarity will come along the way. Once you move, life responds. New opportunities appear. New people come into your path. New strengths awaken within you. That chain reaction only begins when positivity lights the match. Negativity delays dreams. Positivity ignites them. Believe in your worth before the world does. The world often waits to applaud until after results appear. But those results only come when you dare to move without applause. If you depend on validation to start, you may never begin. Because most people cannot see what you are capable of until you show them. Believing in your worth is about deciding that your value is not negotiable, not based on opinions, and not waiting to be granted by anyone else. It is recognizing that what you carry inside, your voice, your vision, your potential, already matters, even if no one has noticed yet. That belief becomes the foundation that holds you steady when rejection tries to shake you. When you know your worth, criticism does not crush you and silence does not scare you because your confidence does not depend on external confirmation. Every breakthrough begins with someone who believed they could contribute something meaningful while others doubted them. That belief becomes an invisible force that pushes you forward when proof is still missing. It gives you permission to take up space, to share your ideas, to pursue your dreams with full intensity instead of hesitation. People who wait to feel worthy rarely attempt anything bold, and their potential stays locked inside. People who believe in their worth step into rooms they are not invited to yet, and through their presence they create space for themselves. The world eventually respects those who first respected themselves. Belief becomes the signal that tells others how to treat you. If you treat yourself as if you matter, the world eventually aligns with that image. Believing in your worth also changes the way you handle failure. If your worth depends on winning, every loss becomes a personal collapse. But when your worth is rooted in who you are, not what happens, failure loses its power to define you. It becomes a teacher instead of a verdict. That shift frees you to take bigger risks because you are no longer gambling your identity with every attempt. You can miss the mark without losing your sense of value. That freedom fuels resilience, and resilience builds greatness. The people who rise highest are not the ones who never fall, but the ones who refuse to let falling convince them they are worthless. Their belief becomes a shield against the blows that would break others. The world often rewards confidence before it rewards results. And confidence is born from believing in your worth. When you walk and speak as if your ideas matter, people pause to listen. When you carry yourself like someone who belongs, people start to see you as belonging. Belief shapes your presence, and presence shapes perception. If you shrink, the world overlooks you. If you stand tall, the world adjusts its gaze. That internal belief becomes external influence, and influence opens doors that talent alone cannot. Many with immense ability stay unnoticed because they doubt their right to be seen, while others with average skills rise because they dared to show up as if they belonged from the beginning. Believing in your worth before the world does is not arrogance. It is responsibility. It is protecting the spark inside you until the world is ready to see its light. If you wait for someone else to declare your value, you hand them control of your destiny. If you declare it yourself, you move with power that does not depend on applause or approval. That inner decision becomes the engine that drives your actions and the anchor that keeps you grounded when storms come. The world will eventually notice what you carry, but you must be the first to believe it is already valuable. Every comeback begins with a positive thought. When life knocks you down, the first thing that collapses is not your body, but your belief. Defeat whispers that this is the end, that nothing can rise from the wreckage, that you are finished. That is the moment where a single positive thought becomes the seed of your return. Before strength returns to your hands, it must return to your mind. Before momentum rebuilds around you, it must reignite within you. One thought saying, I can still rise, becomes the spark that lights the dark corners of despair. Without that spark, action has no fuel. But with it, even the smallest step becomes the beginning of something greater. A positive thought not instantly remove pain, but it gives pain a purpose to push against. A comeback is never about perfect conditions. It is born when someone chooses hope in the middle of chaos. That choice does not wait for signs or evidence. It comes from defiance. It is deciding that what remains inside you is stronger than what has been broken around you. That decision begins silently, often when no one else believes you can recover. People might doubt you, circumstances might surround you, but that positive thought becomes your private rebellion. It tells you that failure is not the final chapter, that what looks like an ending can become a beginning if you keep turning the pages. Once that thought takes root, it begins pulling your energy forward, even while your reality still looks unchanged. Positive thinking shifts your perspective on the struggle itself. Instead of seeing obstacles as proof you are finished, you begin to see them as the training ground for your return. That shift changes how you move. You stop asking, why me, and start asking, what now? Your mind searches for strategies instead of excuses. You start seeing possibilities hidden in places you overlooked before. That mental shift unlocks strength that negativity hides from you. A positive thought clears the fog long enough for you to spot the next step, and once you see the next step, you can take it. One step creates movement, movement creates momentum, and momentum builds comebacks. Even your body responds to what your mind believes. When you think you are finished, your energy drains, your posture collapses, your actions slow. When you tell yourself there is still a chance, your heartbeat quickens, your focus sharpens, and your will strengthens. That is why the mind must recover before the world can see your recovery. The thought can still do this flips a switch that reignites every part of you. People may think the comeback started when you launched again, spoke again, or fought again, but it actually began the moment you whispered to yourself that it was possible. That quiet belief is what pulls you out of the wreckage and back onto your feet. Comebacks are never sudden miracles. They are chains of small steps powered by persistent positive thinking. Each day you feed the thought that this is not the end, and each day that thought grows stronger. It begins to overpower the voice of doubt, drowning it out with determination. You start to see proof of progress where you once only saw pain. Others notice the shift later, but you feel it first in the way you carry yourself, in the way you try again when quitting would be easier. Every comeback begins long before the victory is visible. It begins with that invisible, defiant decision in your mind to believe in the possibility of rising again. No matter how low you have fallen, choose hope now. Time will not wait. Every moment you spend doubting, delaying, or hesitating is a moment slipping away, and once it is gone, it never returns. Time does not pause for fear. It does not slow for uncertainty, and it does not rewind for regret. While you are waiting for the perfect conditions, the clock is quietly moving forward, carrying pieces of your potential with it. Hope is what fuels action, and action is what shapes your future. Without hope, time becomes a weight pressing you down. With hope, time becomes a path pulling you forward. The longer you postpone choosing hope, the more distant your dreams become, not because they are impossible, but because hesitation has eaten the time you could have used to reach them. Hope creates urgency without panic. It tells you that you are not too late yet, but you must not waste another breath believing you are powerless. It shifts your focus from what you lost to what you still have. It reminds you that as long as you are alive, time can be your ally if you move now. Hope clears the fog of fear that clouds your decisions. When fear rules your thoughts, you wait, you stall. You convince yourself that tomorrow will be safer, but tomorrow is not guaranteed, and the window of opportunity does not stay open forever. Hope cuts through that illusion. It says, even if the way is unclear, start walking, because standing still will not reveal anything new. Each step taken in hope teaches you something that standing still never can. Choosing hope now is choosing responsibility for your future. It is declaring that your story will not be dictated by delay. It forces you to see time as precious instead of endless. Many people live as if they have unlimited chances, thinking they can begin when they feel ready, but readiness is a lie that steals time. No one feels fully ready to chase something meaningful. Hope allows you to begin unready because it whispers that starting matters more than being perfect. That mindset compresses hesitation and stretches action. And that shift can change the entire trajectory of your life. While others are still planning, hoping drives you to begin. And beginnings are what build momentum. Hope also sharpens your awareness of time's value. When you live without hope, days blur together, and you stop noticing how fast they pass. When you live with hope, you guard your hours like treasure because you see each one as a chance to build something better. You become intentional. You stop giving time to distractions that drain you and start giving it to efforts that shape you. Hope reorganizes your priorities, pushing you to invest your time where your heart wants to go. That choice multiplies the impact of every hour because focused time builds faster than scattered time. Hope makes you urgent without making you frantic, determined without making you desperate. Time will not slow to match your pace, so you must raise your pace to match time. Hope is what lifts you to that level. It pulls you forward with vision while the clock keeps moving. It keeps you from freezing under the weight of all the time you think you have lost by reminding you that the only time that truly matters is the time you are willing to use now. Choosing hope now does not erase the past, but it stops the past from consuming more of your future. It gives meaning to the moments still ahead, and meaning turns minutes into milestones. Hope makes you aware that the present is your only real chance, and choosing it now is the only way to ensure it becomes something worth remembering